Hey, folks, nice to see you again. It's been quite a while. Well, actually, it hasn't been too long for a bunch of you, I should hope. I'm here to do one of my e-tech explainers, and this one is about repurposing content because you guys are awesome and I want more of that awesome. I'm Vinny Martinelli, and if we've never met, if you don't know me, what a shame. What a shame. I just don't get it. Well, now you have. So now we know each other. We're cool friends. It's awesome. In my explanation today, in case you want more of it, you can click on this baby right there with your camera, your phone there, take a picture. That's going to get you to my getting started with Flex Ruby AI, because a lot of this stuff that I'm going to talk about today can easily be done with that. On the other hand, you can click right here with your picture and camera, your all set smile, and that'll get you to my newsletter. So you can not only get more content from me, you can also ask me some questions as might be appropriate, depending on what's going on. Getting right into it. So repurposing your digital content, and this is a fun, practical guide. This is so important because you guys work so hard. You have such great content. I know you guys are awesome. And believe it or not, there are people on planet Earth who haven't seen your stuff yet. So repurpose that and get it out there. So are you tired of churning out that old content or turning out new content? Well, your old content just sits there and collects dust in your archives. Yeah, that's what I figured, because I do the same thing. I work so hard on my content, and sometimes I don't even get it out. I'm so busy. By the time I finish it, I'm working on a new project and it just never happens. Or sometimes I'll see some of my stuff online somewhere and I'm like, wow, I just haven't marketed that. It hasn't really gotten the traction that I'd like it to get. Well, it's about time we started repurposing stuff, and this is going to help you walk through it. So first thing first, you want to dig through your treasure chest. You do have a treasure trove of a lot of content in most cases. If you don't, that's okay. This is still going to be applicable to you. So you've done videos, or you've done lead magnets, or you've done articles, you've written in newspapers, and you've sent out text messages, and you've sent out social media direct messages, and you've done social media posts, and you have your email campaigns and all that content you work really hard on. And if it's just sitting there rotting, you might want to consider looking at that again. So get your analytical glasses out to identify your top performing content, or the content that is now even more relevant than it was, or content that should have been top performing and maybe for whatever reason you didn't quite get there. You want to look for stuff that's going to give you high engagement rates, likes, comments, shares, all that. Impressive view counts. Obviously, the algorithms love when people are looking at your stuff, particularly with videos. The algorithms like when your people watch the entire video, or at least more than just a little tiny bit of it. They sort of, hang up on you on your video. You don't want that to happen. And there's a lot of evergreen topics that you've probably done some content over. So look at those things. And then you want to maybe give your blog posts a makeover. If you haven't done a blog post, that's okay. I don't like blogs because it's not the right word. It's supposed to be web log. That would be we blog, not blog. I'm protesting. And how many of you out there really care about what I'm protesting? Zero. I get it. I still don't like the word. In any case, your wordy wonders can be transformed into various formats that'll suit different platforms and audiences and so forth. And some of what you wrote may be more relevant today or may be less relevant today. So you might want to make some adjustments, but that's still better than creating content right from scratch. So you can look at your social media snippets and extract the most interesting facts or quotes or statistics from your blogs or from your website or from your social media posts or wherever you have these things, and turn them into more eye-catching media updates and pair them with relevant an image that's relevant to that content and to your audience. And you can create an infographic, and you can make that even more shareable. You can look at your video script. So take a look at your blog post and turn it into a short video. And that's really easy to do. We'll talk a little more about that later. So you can add visual elements also to your examples, and you can throw in a little bit of humor, just something that's a little bit different from last time, so it doesn't seem like the same old, even if it at the base of it really is. And you can use tools like Lumen 5 or Animoto to create videos fairly easily. I'm not familiar with those two. I personally do everything on Zoom, and then I bring it on over to Vimeo, and I bring that on over to YouTube. Look at your email newsletters, so you can curate a collection of your best blog posts and turn them into a value-packed email newsletter or into an online article. If you have a website, you can write even more engaging subject lines or subject lines that are more relevant now. Things change, right? Life changes. If you did some of this stuff 2 years ago, there's a bunch of people that got married in those 2 years. So everything in their life had a little bit of a shift, or maybe they had a kid, or maybe they bought a house, or maybe they went into business, or maybe they changed their jobs or whatever. So what might not have been relevant before to them might be relevant to them now. And again, there's like 7 billion of us, and only a little tiny fraction of us have seen your work. Part of it is it for you to not share that with the rest of us. I've never been invited to the party. I'm upset. Invite me to your party. Show me your content. So watch your new subscribers or your repeat subscribers devour that new content as though it's new. Don't forget, a lot of people will see your content and they might not take action on it. They mean to, but they don't. And then you show it to them again in a different day, or they're in a different mood or in a different place in their life or whatever. And suddenly it becomes very relevant and they just latch onto it and they really want to go for it. So that's the beauty of repurposing it. Blog posts. So you can transcribe all of your videos and your webinars and turn them into blog posts. So you can edit the transcript to make it a little more readable, or add some subheadings to make it look better. Throw some images in there, and links. Definitely get links, because you want to have calls to action. So you'll need links to do that. At least that's one of the most effective ways to do it. Voila, you've got a brand new blog post ready to go with very little work. Podcasts, sort of the same thing. Extract that audio from your videos, turn that audio into podcast episodes, and the same thing happens. Edit it a little bit, make sure it's clear and the right length, and make sure that all of your content, you want to have content notes, and you want to upload them to your favorite podcast platform and so forth. So a little bit of a work, but really a lot less than creating it from scratch. That's the theme here. You're getting that? Lead magnets. Repurpose your webinar content into valuable lead magnets, such as an ebook or a checklist or a worksheet, and you can design attractive landing page or opt-in form. And again, watch that email list grow. So important. And the opposite is true. So here we're talking about taking your taking your webinar content and reducing it to a lead magnet. But the opposite is true. You can take your old lead magnets and turn them into a video that you can share on other or even the same platforms over again. They're going to come across as being different because they are different. You went from, for instance, text to video, or video to text, or whatever. Remix your social media updates. So your updates might be short and sweet. Still, you can repurpose them into longer content, and you can try some ideas, like, again, with your blog articles, you can identify a common theme through your social media updates, compile them into a blog article, expand them, add a little content, add some examples, and maybe provide some insight that you didn't originally provide when you wrote those in the first place. Social media roundup videos. So select your top performing social media updates and create a video showcasing them. Add your own commentary and personality to make them all engaging. Email content, awesome. Curate your best emails, the ones that really got the most responses or should have gotten the most responses. Share them again with your email list. Encourage your subscribers to follow you on social media. That's a call to action for them to get more valuable content. And here's something that I do. I take a lot of the content that I have and I do repurpose it. Generally, it's for a particular reason. The last year you told me you didn't want to do this, and this year you mentioned that you do. And so now I'll just repurpose that content. So that's another way to look at it. Now, polish your repurposed content. So once you have that repurposed, again, we talked about it throughout here, but you want to ensure that your repurposed content maintains your brand and your voice and your style and your morals and your ethics and all those things. You want to optimize each piece of content for that specific platform and audience. So if you had it on platform ABC and you're putting it on XYZ, You may need to put different keywords. Some of them don't even use keywords anymore, or metaphrases, or maybe you need to change those pictures. And don't forget, if your pictures are saved as a name that doesn't indicate what the picture is, the algorithm doesn't really like it and gets confused. So you may want to go through your pictures and just save them as a different name, and then add the alternate text, alt text they call it. So you can change that to, again, reinforce that algorithm. That's really important on some platforms, not necessarily on all of them. You want to include calls to actions. I mentioned that before. Make sure that you put in calls to action. Make sure your links are not only there, make sure they're updated. Test your links once in a while. They may have worked perfectly fine the first time you use them, and they may get broken. That does happen. So keep your audience engaged in any way you can. You want to monitor your performance when you repurpose your material like this, so that the audience is, engaged and interested with your new content, even if it's not new to them. They might still feel that it is, because it was delivered in a different way, a different manner, in a different time, and so forth. So there you go. You have mastered the repurposing of your digital content. You guys are masters. I know you can do it. I'm struggling with it. I do it a lot, but I'm not the best at it, and I don't know if I'll ever be the best. One thing about potential is once you reach it, it gets higher. So the only time we actually reach our potential is when we start going backwards and losing out on that momentum. So by following all of the stuff that I did, take a breath and just do these little pieces at a time. You don't do it all in one day. Breathe life into your old content, reach new audiences, save time and resources in the process. And repurposing content is an ongoing process, but it's a time saver. So don't think of it as a chore. Think of it as, it's almost like having an assistant. Your assistant wrote the article and you're just editing it a little bit. And you want to keep exploring new ways to transform that content to stay, ahead of the curve all the time, as you do with the rest of your business, right? So a couple of things that you can do, by the way, to make it easier. I talked about Ruby at the very beginning of this call, is you can take your content from the last time, wherever it was, whatever it said, and you can run it through, for instance, Ruby AI, any IntelliChat model. Ruby has 10 of them built in. So that's why I like to use Ruby. So whatever your audience is looking for, or whatever your perspective is, or the tone or the voice or whatever, you can customize your results very easily within the Ruby platform. And that's how you get there. And just say to it, modernize this, or update this, or make this better, or make this just a little more technical, or make it just a little funnier, or whatever your particular desire is. So you can do that very quickly. And you can say, well, here is the email list, or here's the series of emails that I've used. Give me some more catchy titles, something that's more relevant to today. What's going to get them to open those emails? That's what you really want. So even if you don't change the email content, the message, then maybe just changing the subject lines will do that for you. Again, repurpose it. And some of the stuff that I do personally, I've got like, 5 websites. One of them is a community website. So whenever I'm writing a business article, or I'm writing an article on health and wellness or something like that, it can be pertinent to that one community website. That website is hyper specific to one particular municipality. So most of the stuff I do doesn't belong there. So and I make sure I don't mix and mingle. Then I have something called Netfiliate Insiders. Oh, look, that's right over there. And that website is really just for adding this kind of content, what I call the e-tech explainers and some of my lead magnets and so forth. And I put that stuff there, and I might put a video there. I might have in a different area a lead magnet for that. So it's really the same material. You might like it in a video, and maybe you would prefer it in a text format, or maybe you want to interchange, and we learn differently. So if we're reading it, we'll learn a bunch of stuff. If we watch it, we learn different stuff, even though it's the same material. That happens. I have another website that I'll add this content to only for my opportunities. So those are the things like network marketing, affiliate marketing, any kind of digital marketing, really, that's really all that goes there. So when I'm doing something like this, maybe today's video wouldn't necessarily be there, but I'll have a link there that links back to the page that does have it. So that's another way to repurpose your content. And then I have a list. And at the bottom of, for instance, an article I write, oh, here's some similar articles. Click on those links and you can get even more information. So that's not really repurposing the material. It's certainly, though, repurposing those subject lines to try to get people to look at even more of my information. This is all I had for you today. That was short and sweet. Hope you got something out of it. Please make sure that you hit that subscribe button and the follow and the like and the share. The thumbs up is really cool. Add your comments. Tell me what you think of this. Tell me what you don't like about it and what you do like about it, what you'd like to see in the future. And then you'll keep coming back and you'll see me in the future and we'll be even better friends. Take care, folks. Have a fantastic day.